What is up, players and playettes? Neily's here from the Cool Pokey Players, and I'm here bringing a deck profile for you guys. Now, I only started pretty much getting back into playing 3 weeks ago, and that's when I joined the league like a couple of weeks ago and stuff like that. So I want to show you my first deck that I built going into the league and stuff like that. And now keep this in mind, this is a budget deck. The deck is a Wobbuffet Crobat. I like to call it Wobbuffet's deck, and I want to show you guys pretty much the build that I use. I ain't have much money, so I put something together to try to get the workout. So keep in mind, this is a budget, but I will talk about the cards that you could add in there to make it better, and what's the strengths, what's the weaknesses of the deck, and also as when the format gets rotated, what cards are actually going to be out of there and stuff. So pay attention, because this deck is awesome. So check it out. Alright, the one thing I like about this deck, and what reminds me of this deck, why this deck is so cool, because this deck works like a family. You guys have family. You guys always stick up and look out for each other. So we're going to talk about that with our main attacker here being Wobbuffet. This one's from the Reigning Collection. So we play 4 of these in this deck, and the ability by Barricade, which lets only psychic Pokemon can use their abilities. No other Pokemon? No, they ain't using those abilities. Shut them off. But we're going to pay attention also to its attack, Psychic Assault, which does 10 more damage for each counter on the opponent's active Pokemon. Now you're probably thinking, well, how are you going to get those counters on there? Don't worry. But we play 4 of these bad sisters right here. And with these sisters, they're going to need help from their brothers. So we got our little brother right here, Zubat. And this Zubat with the skill dive ability, but that's the little brother, and little brother needs to grow up to be a teenager, the wild and reckless teenager. We got Crobat right here, and we play 4 of these, but mainly because of that ability, Sneaky Bite. When you play one of these, you drop 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Could be on the active, could be on the bench. And that super cost, rarely will use this attack. Does 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Because it's a wild teenager, it's him against the world. So he's trying to take out everybody in sight. But when Crobat matures and becomes a man, it turns into Crobat. And Crobat has that surprise bite. Now that surprise bite can deal 3 damage to any one of the Pokemon, bench or not. So if you got someone on that bench that's hurting back there, hit him with that sneaky bite. Boom, take it out. Give me my prize, baby. Give me that prize. What also is attack skill dive ability, which could be probably used about 10% of the time. Does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. And that's anyone. So if they're sitting on the bench with low damage, boom, take that out too. Now, the thing with this is you got the sisters right here, Wobbuffet. These sisters help out, and their big brothers help out their sisters. They don't want no one beating their sister up. They want their sister looking good out there, looking strong. But even with all this, we have to bring in the little cousins, and those little cousins are unknowns for our draw support. We can't use Shaman because of Wobbuffet's ability. So unknown with the farewell letters, the only time we're going to be using this ability. Only thing we're using this card for, and that's if it's on your bench, discard it, you get to draw a card. Rarely, never we're using Hidden Power. The only scenario I can see us using Hidden Power is if there's a Joltik on the field and all we have is unknown to attack, we got a Dimension Valley out, and there's a Muscle Band to it to hit 30 to a Joltik to knock you out. That's the only time ever we will ever use Hidden Power. So when that scenario is going to come up, hardly ever. So you're probably going to wonder, we play some item cards here that's going to help us get this down early. The goal is to get those Zubats and those Crobats out so we can power up Wobbuffet so Wobbuffet can start hitting hard. And how we're going to do that is by Ultra Balls. Now we play 3 of them in this deck. And Level Balls, which we play 2 of them in this deck. Now in this situation, you want the Ultra Balls to be searching for your Wobbuffets and your Crobats, and the Level Balls to be getting those Crobats, mainly the Crobats. We do play Bridget in this deck, which will help us get out those Zubats and unknowns for extra card power when we need them. Now in this, we play 3 Super Scoop Ups, and what Super Scoop Up does is it allows you, if hits, return Pokemon back into your hand, also including that evolution line and anything else that's attached to it. So this could save Wobbuffet if it's hurting. We can bring back that energy and anything that's attached to it, or we could bring that Crobat line and start hitting the evolution chain again and start whopping more damage. Play solitaire with him. Bam, bam, boom, boom, boom. Hit with the Wobbuffet. Bam, boom. Give me my prize, baby. You knocked out. Now, we play one super rod because sometimes to get this deck going, we may need to hit an early sycamore, and we might have to discard some cards in our hand that we don't want to be aggressive. Some Pokemon lines, some Crobat lines may go down. So that super rod, or if we get hit with some energies or need a Wobbuffet in the mid game, that's what the super rod's there for. Now with this deck, I did take out some Ultra Balls and I think an Ultra Ball and a Super Scoop Up to put in 2 Starling Megaphones. The reason for this is this deck is a math based game. You got to be really well in your math, and sometimes those fighting furry belts get in the way. They get in the way, and then that extra 40 damage may not seem like a lot, but it is when you're trying to add it up in this deck. That Starling Megaphone, remove those fighting furry belts, or if they're hitting hard, remove those hard charms, remove those muscle bands away, or if they're trying to stall us with a bursting balloon, move that away too, so we can get back to doing what we need to do, and that's hitting them hard and taking our prizes for the win. Because this is a budget deck, we're not running Versus Seekers, so instead we're running Pal Pad, 2 Pal Pads, and what this does is shuffles 2 supporter cards from your discard pile into your deck, and we play 2 random receivers which reveal cards for the top of our deck until we get a supporter card, and we're able to put that back into our hand. That's our route instead of playing the BS Seeker, because I didn't have the BS Seeker at the time, didn't have a playable set, so that was my way of getting around that. So now we're going to jump into the supporter cards here. I'm going to go through these real quickly. We play 3 Professor Sycamore. We play 2 N. We play 2 Bridget, 1 AZ, and 1 Lysander. Professor Sycamore in self-explanatory. That's for us to get some card draw power. The Bridget, we played 2 of those. I did have 3. I did at one point I had 4, but in the mid to late games, those bridges really don't help out. They're dead cards in your hand, and we don't need dead cards in this deck. And mid to late game, we need to start swinging. We're trying to hit homers out here, and we can't hit homers, or the big brothers and the big brothers and sisters can't gang jump no one with dead cards like Bridget in the hand. So that's why I brought it down to 2. All I need it for is usually for turn 1, just to get it out there so I can get those Zubats going and get some unknowns going for some extra draw card power. AZ, just in case those super scoop ups, because those are chance. We got to have a heads on those to make sure this works. So this AZ guarantees us to get a line back or to save a Wobbuffet from a prize if we're really hurting that much. And Lysander, self-explanatory. They're someone on the bench that we can't get with a Crobat or a Gobat that really bothering us, that we really need to take out. That's what that is for. So we're gonna get these out, and we're gonna move on to the stadiums and item tool cards. So we play 4 Dimension Valley in this deck, which is a critical card in this deck because it makes all your psychic Pokemon's attack cost 1 colorless energy less. That means that Wobbuffet's only hitting for 1 energy, and all the brothers are hitting for free. Sisters need 1, the brothers are hitting for free. Yes, this is the club where the brothers are free. We play 4 Bursting Balloons in this deck. I'll explain why. As 1 muscle band. The muscle band is for extra damage. The bursting balloon, now when I was doing the testing, I did test fighting furry belt. I did have 2 furry belts, 3 muscle bands testing out, and I realized that the bursting balloon, when you put this on here, yeah, they got a Lysander around, they have the Shirosic kit, they have starting Megaphone that hurts, but it forced them to have to use the card, or forced them to have to do something else, or just take the 6 damage counters, or not attack at all. Either way, it's forcing them to do something. The best is not to attack, because that saves my Wobbuffet extra turn, and if they do attack, they get those 6 extra damage counters on there, which also helps out my Wobbuffet. So if you have 130 HP Pokemon, you take those 6 damage to that bursting balloon, I have another Wobbuffet out there ready to go. It's going to Psychic Assault you for 70 without having to waste a Crobat or a Gobat on the active. I could use that on the bench or save it for another turn and take out your Pokemon that way. Give me the prize, give me the prize, give me the prize. It's about getting those prizes, about setting up and taking out those things one shot or in 2 shots. We need to be 1 shot and 2 shotting stuff, and Bursting Balloon helps us with that situation. And if it can keep that Wobbuffet alive at extra turn, that helps us out a lot. And Muscle Band here, this is just for extra damage, just in case we're out of Crobats, we're out of Gobats, we can't really get that evolution line up anymore, or we're just stuck in some situation. That Muscle Band is going to do those 20 extra damage that we need to get the ball rolling instead of hitting that 10 on that first shot. Now for the energies, this is self-explanatory, simple. 1 mystery energy, 8 psychic energies. Reason for the mystery energy, I know there's Shirosic, Enhanced Hammers, all that's out there, but You know, sometimes if this is out here and this is safe, this gives me an extra energy, and B, this mystery energy does have psychic Pokemon have free retreat. So that Wobbuffet has a 2 retreat cost. If I can't get it out, or if it's hurting, and I can put a fresh one in just in case to survive an attack or something, it helps me out so much. Now, what are some cards people are talking about adding to this deck? People are telling me, oh, you should add Shaman in this deck. That's not a go because of Wobbuffet's ability. If it's in the active, Shaman does no good. You can't use the setup ability when Wobbuffet's in the active because only psychic Pokemon can use their abilities. Fighting Furry Belt. This is a card you can add in here during the testing. If you want Wobbuffet to last longer, you needed to have that extra 40 HP. This is a card to add in there. Like I said, with my testing, I prefer Bursting Balloon to be better, but this is a card you can also add it to your deck. Another one is Giovanni Scheme, and I'll probably be adding this back into my deck because draw the 5 cards helps too, but really that second choice you have, giving that 20 more damage. Sometimes you fall 10-20 damage short, and this card right here could help you get that extra 10-20 damage you need to be knocking out of those Pokemon. Now that's it for the deck profile. I'm gonna talk about some strengths and the weaknesses. Don't get back and talk strengths and weaknesses and all other stuff about the deck. Now the strong things about this deck is that it can surprise attack. It's really good with surprising stuff. So if someone's playing a Pokemon out there and you got your stuff, you ready to set up, go bam, go back, bam, go back, hit that, bam, go back, hit the active, bam, psychic energy, get that Dimension Valley up there, psychic sock, boom, bam, out. You thought she was gonna stay alive? Not with this deck. Really good with that. Another thing it's good at is synergy. It's that family thing I was talking about. Those Wobbuffet, those big sisters are out there, they're the main attacker. Those brothers want to make sure their big sisters out there looking good, making sure that no one's gonna mess with her, so they're gonna help out by beating them up, weakening them down, and then the big sister's gonna come in and get that final blow, bam, taking them out and stuff like that. That's what I love about this deck. It's synergy. It reminds you of family. Family sticks together, and this family works together. And it's not only that, they get help from their cousins unknown. They get help from their hometown, Dimension Valley. They get help all over the place and making sure that everyone is working together as one and taking them down as a team. That's what it's all about. Teamwork makes the dream work. In this deck, when this team is working, the dream is coming alive. And that's where you'd be taking those prizes and winning. So the last thing this does is it shuts down other non-psychic Pokemon abilities. So if you got that Wobbuffet active on that first turn, even if you're not going first, having that Wobbuffet in the active, they can't use Shamans. That ain't happening. If they're trying to set up and you got it where they're trying to use an Octilli, that ain't happening. They're trying to use Delphox, XY Delphox with the Mystic Witch ability, who draws up 6 cards, ain't happening. The only one they probably gonna get away with is Hoopa and Trevenant. Speaking of Trevenant, that's also a weakness to this deck. Item locks, and especially Trevenant deck. Vileplume item lock sucks because we rely on items a lot to start getting that stuff down and getting together. Super Scoop Ups, we count on those. We rely on those and stuff like Ultra Balls, just in case the bridges don't come in and stuff. We rely on those to get the Crobats out, to get extra Wobbuffets out. Level balls, we rely on that stuff. So item lock hurts us, and Trevenant hurts us because Trevenant hurts us for weakness, but we don't hurt it for weakness. Even though Trevenant is a psychic type, and most psychic types are weak to themselves, not Trevenant. Trevenant has a dark weakness. Wobbuffet has psychic weakness. Now, the Crobats are fine, but the way Trevenant is set up, the Crobats really won't last long against the Trevenants anyway. It's a tough matchup to be in. Real tough matchup to get out of. The second thing, any Pokemon that does healing, or if they have healing cards like Pokemon Center later, they use Max Potion. They have those Pokemon where heal blah blah blah, like Mega Sceptile, drop energy, heals, anything that heals stuff, those off the map and throws off your math and takes longer for you to knock it out. It is a pain to deal with, and you're gonna have a tough battle with. If they have a couple of Pokemon Saturdays hidden there, or any way that they can heal their Pokemon, it's going to be a struggle. And the last thing is hard-hitting Pokemon. Now, I'm talking about the ones like Mega Ray and stuff like that that just build up damage to Darkrai and just boom, taking you out in one shot. I'm talking about that, but I'm also talking about if your opponent has a bunch of EXs on the field, you've seen a bunch of 170s, 180s, 210s, a bunch of Megas and all this other stuff sitting on that side of the field. Because our Grobats and Crobats, we can only get them out there, and we gotta rely on the Super Ups to be hitting heads all those times to deal with it. But when it's not hitting heads, it's gonna be a tough time. it looks like the Denver Broncos, the Golden State Warriors, or the Pittsburgh Penguins sitting over there on your opponent's bench side. They look like they got a dream team sitting over there. It's going to be a tough battle, but this is a budget deck. But it's a fun budget deck because everyone works like a family. That's why I love this deck so much. But it does has its weaknesses, it has its strengths, but it's a fun deck to play with, and I hope you guys enjoy this tech profile preview. Maybe on another video I can get a battle going on with this deck and stuff like that. But my name is Neily from the Cool Poke Players, and I hope you guys all have a great day.